my barber's like, oh, maybe, would you like the side part shaved? It's like, I don't know, because my friend got one done, and he really didn't like it, and shaving his whole head. It's like, oh, this one, it's really small, really small. I was like, all right, sure, whatever. And then he did. It's like, oh, that actually
normally you just take like a sideburn trimmer, and you just like...
Yeah, that's what he did.
Zip. And it's like, yeah, some people prefer to comb it in, some people prefer to... Like, I can do it either way. And I get my hair thinned out now, not for length, so I get it just... So it's not as thick.
Yeah.
And I just get it thinned out, and I get a 2 on the sides. I seem to like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's clever. What about you, Patrick? What do you do with your hair?
Okay.
What tickles your fancy?
You
look different.
You do look different.
Your face looks different.
Did you get a haircut?
No, I didn't. I had this is my bed head. So it goes
it's flatter.
It goes up an extra inch.
Yeah, it looks a little poofier.
Yep. Usually, there's a time where it gets really thick and it's hard to maintain with the gel. It's too much. So I sometimes just get it down pretty short.
Well, your hair goes backwards, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's like it's like a I know, it's like a gel hold, but like it's still like
it
just
goes
like
back.
Mine grows forward like this, so I have to like force it.
No, what the downside is I can't really wear hats because then it just presses all that shit down, and I look like crap.
You wear hats all the time.
Yeah, well, that's when like I don't want to shower. And I just,
okay.
Oh, so we know when he doesn't shower. Patrick's wearing a hat. He must be dirty.
This is gross.
My hat is rank.
Well, welcome to the 16th episode of the Geekcast podcast. My name is Greg St. Clair.
Dan Whitehead.
Patrick Howard.
Happy
belated.
On
my name near Patrick.
Happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
You're all fat and jolly.
I mean, not jolly yet.
Well, we're transitioning, so yeah.
We're getting to jolly. Yeah, now is the appropriate time, everybody, to play Christmas music.
Okay,
I'm still going to wait till the 1st, but yeah.
What do you say to people? Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays?
If it's like my family and
random person.
Happy Holidays.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of do both, honestly. But if I know the person, if I know the person is Jewish, then I say Happy Hanukkah.
Okay.
It depends. Yeah, if I know the person,
I actually know the person and I know their religion or no religion,
I'll say the right denomination of like what they are. But like if it's just like some random person on the street, or like if I got a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, I mean, I'll say Happy Holidays just because like it's that time of year. And
I say that. Although honestly, just out of reflex, I'll just say Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm. I think it depends on. For me, if they say it to me first,
and
like
how
they
totally.
if they say
Happy Holidays, then I'll say that depends on it too.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be a dick and they say Merry Christmas, you say Happy Holidays, but like say it with like Happy Holidays, like you're you're better than them. So and they're just like, what did you say? And then
normally when I'm in line or something at a store, that's what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually just like, I want to get the fuck out of here because I want to either use whatever I got or whatever. So I'm like, I don't want to stand here and go back and forth on Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas stuff. So I'm like, okay, bye. And like I don't even bother, with anything. So.
Exactly. So this past week.
Yep.
Or you want to pick something first?
Sure.
Do you have one, Patrick?
Mine's more of a question.
It's more of a question? All right, then, Dan, you may go first since you've so graciously already had your pick set up.
Okay.
For the first time in probably 5 episodes, wow. Dan Whitehead is prepared for the pick of the week, guys.
Ha. So, driving here, today I came back from home, back to school, and in the midst of listening to a lot of different music, I decided to put on the album by Chris Stapleton, his first album called Traveler, which is a country album, but it has a lot of like kind of folk sound to it, and for me it kind of felt like a Zac Brown album, just in the sense of like every song on it is really good. Now obviously there's ones that like stood out a little bit better than others.
Same with the Zac Brown band album,
right?
There aren't really like any fillers you can
there's
skip.
no right, exactly. Where Zac Brown and with Chris Stapleton's album, you didn't feel like you were getting gypped on the album, where you're like, oh, all these songs are just there to like complete a 10-track album. Mm-hmm. It felt like these songs are really like had some work put into them, and they felt strong and stuff, and they had a lot of stories. He seems to like whiskey a lot, because if you listen to a lot of songs, every one of them
is Chris Stapleton the guy that did that duet with Justin Timberlake? Yeah. Oh my god, that guy's amazing. He has some pipes.
Yeah, he sings too. He sings Traveler, which is the title track. Obviously, he's got Whiskey and You, which is like comparing a woman to whiskey.
That's the one he's saying with Justin Timberlake at the CMAs.
That's a good one.
Did you see that video, Patrick?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, I gotta show you this after we're done.
His lyrics are very good. I don't know how much of them he actually like writes and stuff, but there was one where he's like, "I miss my son, I miss my wife, but the devil named music has taken my life," and I was just like, "That's a really cool like lyric as far as like why he's not around." Blah blah. Blah. So I thought he really does a nice job with all that stuff. It kept me entertained. Some of the songs like they sound very similar, just like very kind of guitar heavy with some drums in the back. But
that's like any genre of music, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like in like one niche of like music, then like
it's all going to sound the same eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a bad sound the same. It worked for his album, and the cover is black and white and like very landscape in the back. So I was like, black and white, I'm sold. Before I even listened to the song, I was like, I like it. So yeah, check that out. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on all those good sources of music.
Mm-hmm. Patrick, we'll save your question for last, 'cause I feel like we're going to get pretty involved.
Because I'm going to involve you guys too.
I'm excited. So mine's also going to be music. Now that Thanksgiving is over, it is now the appropriate time for Christmas music.
So you say?
So I do say, I know you're more like the week of, but I say the day after Thanksgiving, because so many people after Halloween are just like shoving down like Christmas music down your throat. I mean the stores are doing it too. Like we talked the last episode, like Rite Aid, like 3 weeks ago when I went, had Christmas decorations up. It's ridiculous. But now it's the appropriate time. I always count like 12:01 is like, okay, it's Christmas time. I recommend 2 albums. The first album is the Michael Buble Christmas album, which came out probably 4 years ago, and he does a really good job of kind of just bringing it back to he's a standard singer, so he really brings that like nice jazzy feel to the Christmas songs I really enjoy. And on that album with White Christmas, he's like a duet with like Shania Twain. He was super hot, so that's always fun.
There you go.
And the second album I recommend is That's Christmas to Me by the Pentatonics, which just recently came out this year. It's their this year Christmas album, and they come back compared to their originals album they just released, back to their edgier stuff. It's kind of they have fun with the music, which I really appreciate, and Pentatonics are just amazing vocalists and artists, and definitely those two. The Michael Bublé's It's Christmas Time, I think that's what it's called, and That's Christmas to Me by Pentatonics are the 2 albums that I recommend that you should listen to.
So you were kind of disappointed at the AMAs when they did that Star Wars thing. You wanted to hear Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah. Like
that would have been funny if they did that.
Like they did a really good job with everything. Like the whatever track
theme song.
Yeah, the theme song. The theme was great. But yeah, I wanted more. I thought it was going to be like a Pentatonics does the soundtrack to Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like, I wanted Cantina, and I'm thinking the Imperial March would have been fun, and like I think if they would have encompassed everything, maybe they can do it on the side. I don't know, guys. If you're listening, probably not.
Get on it.
From the 24 views and more videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted more stuff. Cantina Band, I think they would have had so much fun with that, and I really wish they would have done that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was still pretty cool though. Like,
no, it was super cool.
Melded with the footage.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted more.
I bring my water in here.
I'm just greedy. Do you want to go get it?
Nah, it's okay. I'm in the zone now. I wouldn't want to make too much noise. Patrick, what's your question?
I see your implication there.
Yeah. Yeah, you were kind of hitting the table just now. I was going to tell you when you were getting excited.
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, settle down.
Yes, Patrick.
Okay,
Smack
so well, mine's a question. Since we're like I think 19 days away from The Force Awakens,
something like that.
I think My question is, what like concerns do you actually have for the movie?
Okay.
Because then we're all really excited for it, but like, what just concerns do you have?
Do you want to go first, Dan? Yeah, I can go first if you want me to.
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
My concern is who dies, because somebody's gonna die. Mm-hmm. I think everybody knows that somebody is not going to be there.
I got it narrowed down to 2, but
for the 8th one, I've heard. Well, we know Han doesn't die anymore.
How so?
Didn't Harrison Ford say he's going to be around as much as he possibly can?
Did he?
Did he? I don't
Didn't
know.
you tell me that?
No, that was Sly Stallone for Creed.
Oh, so maybe Han does die. So there's Han.
I think he will. Yeah.
There's Chewie.
Those are my top 2 choices. Yeah.
I also heard that R2 might die.
Although Patrick says if he dies, they riot.
Yeah. I've seen that post. I've seen that post.
That might be too much.
Man, but yeah, I agree with you. I think the top 2 is probably between Han and Chewie, and I think Han makes the most sense. Oh, I don't know because we still don't know what's the girl character's name again?
Rey.
We don't know if Rey's gonna be a good space pirate or a bad space pirate.
Right.
And we've discussed that she's gonna be a bad space pirate to kind of like mix it up a little bit. But I was just gonna say, well, if Han dies, then Chewie can go with Rey. But no, why would Chewie go with Rey if she's bad? So I mean, I don't know. It's interesting.
Obviously, I think Luke's gonna be the one that's in it for the long haul. All of them, before I even saw any trailer or anything, I was like, I guarantee Luke will be in it for the whole thing. Probably alive for the whole thing, just to mix it up. The only thing with Han Solo dying is I think it would be too similar to the original trilogy in that you follow around Alec Guinness bringing the younger cast in, and then for him to die, and then so like it'd be like the same kind of thing, except they're not Jedis this time. They're more like
but with Alec Guinness, it started with Alec Guinness as old Alec Guinness. It started with older Obi-Wan, right? With this, we've known Han. We've known Han for decades.
Right.
It's a little different because of that. Because we've actually known him and we're not meeting him just for the first time, I think it holds a greater value to that in a way, but also a different perspective because he's put in his time and we've seen him put in his time, therefore it may be his time to go.
Now, though, do you think it almost would be kind of cop-out-ish in a way that we almost would expect Han to die? Like, wouldn't it be more interesting if somebody else, like a Chewie, died?
Having Chewie die is like shooting old Yeller in the face. Like,
it's like your favorite pet.
It just depends how he goes out. Would be, I think, for me, the cop out. Like, if it goes out in a pretty like unepic way, like, oh, well, that's it. Like,
I guess if it's out of his character that something we haven't seen before, because again, he's still like the same kind of Han, just older.
If it's like a quick way, like in Kingsman. When Colin Firth dies.
Spoilers.
We're really bad at this.
Yeah.
Like they had that whole epic scene in the church, and then he's talking to Samuel Jackson's character, and he just shoots him. Like that was quick.
Right.
Like you were able to develop a relationship with him enough that like it made an impact, but like that was like way too quick. Like unless it has to be the only way Han would ever go out is guns a-blazing. Chewie's would be quick. Chewie's, they'd be like middle of Act 2, big battle scene.
Like they execute him like in front of.
I don't even want to say execute. I want to say he's like mid battle, but it's not like the final battle. And he gets hit. Like a blaster hits him. Maybe Kylo Ren nicks him with a lightsaber. Something happens that he's like on life support, but then like dies.
I think it was probably going to be like, if that happens, it'd be like Han's kind of holding him, like that kind of thing. And it's just like a big walking carpet, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's so sad!
And then it's like kind of like rolls over, like that kind of thing. Like, and then Han, maybe they both die. Would that be too much?
Together. I don't know, like just
moments after he's like, you son of a bitch, like that kind of thing.
It's
like,
pew, pew. That's way too. That's way too much because by the time that happens in the movie, I'm like, I'm fucking done. Like I don't want to see what.
It's too sad.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see what happens. But like, all right, well, like all this like big shit happened. So like now what are they gonna do? I don't even care anymore because the characters who have driven the original trilogy.
Yeah, half of them are gone.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, what's the point?
And also like in the trailer where you see Rey crying over somebody. I think
it looks very furry.
It's so hard to tell, but I think near the third act. I think
it was Ewok.
They're on a
snowy Ewok in the way.
They're on that like dark snowy planet, the one where we keep seeing Rey, Kylo Ren, and Finn like go at it with the lightsabers. It's like that same planet.
So maybe that's the final fight scene. Maybe it's Chewie. I don't know. If no matter what, it's going to happen in Act 3. It's going to be right on the cusp of the final battle where the conclusion's about to happen. And either way, it's going to be tastefully done.
So we definitely don't think it's Leia, right?
No.
I think she's going to be in all three because she's like the lead of the rebellion.
Yeah, and they need that woman power in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
they have Rey, sure, but like they definitely could.
But
Stick
like
it.
Leia has been like the icon
Right.
of like women. I mean, I can't really speak on behalf of that because she was dressed up in a sex slave uniform. But
Yeah.
Well, now she's General Leia. She's more classy.
she is classier.
Mm-hmm.
She found underpants. In the
found-
original trilogy, she said that there was no underpants in space, so they had to like tape her breasts down and stuff like that. They said she said that they would have bets or whoever won got to rip the tape off at the end of the day, like on set. Like they were just
That is
messing around.
fucked up.
Oh, you think like it'd be a woman to do that?
She
or
was
something.
19 years old. Like
Yeah, I know.
real young and stuff. I saw. This is so bad. On Jimmy Kimmel, they were on. They did like.
I saw that when they were
I saw that
announcing.
too,
Yeah.
Yeah. And Carrie Fisher was on there, and like she's like, "What? You gonna ask me a question on how I feel about aging badly or something like that?" And I was just like, "Ah, Carrie Fisher." But then, if you saw the way she was sitting like she's like 12 and like couldn't control her legs.
I
Like,
think
she
it's
was
because of
sitting,
she suffers, I think, from like bipolar disorder. I think it has something to do with
really
that.
because it's like Ray was sitting like nice and classy, like just legs, down and closed, whereas like Carrie Fisher probably flashed the crowd at least once or twice, just the way she was like moving around. And so I was like, ugh.
That was funny with John Boyega's story of him telling me, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're in Star Wars! That is amazing! What is Star Wars?"
Yeah.
Like that was really funny.
And that was pretty cool that Adam Driver, he's in every shot as Kylo Ren, even if he doesn't speak, even if it's like just an over the shoulder, like he's like, I want to be in that suit.
Yeah, I thought that was.
So like they easily could have just put anybody in there really, and he could have just came in and did the voice for God's sake.
Yeah.
But no, he's like, I want to be in it. So they're like, oh, do you ever take your mask off? Which we've seen him take his mask off in that one trailer, and he's like, looks at JJ,
He looks
and he's
like,
like,
can I go?
no. He's like double checking.
Like they're all kept on a leash.
Yeah.
It's pretty
No,
funny.
but I'm glad that they're doing it like a tight, like not letting any.
Yeah.
He's like the fucking master with it. Pretty
He's
much all of
really
his
good.
films.
And it's really good.
Especially how much they're releasing, like
Yeah.
TV spots.
And like it's the same, and I admire that because of what's happened to the superhero cinematic world right now, in that everything is getting leaked, and DC is a huge victim of this.
yeah,
More than Marvel, I think that a lot of their stuff gets pre-leaked. Like the one Arrow episode with Constantine that got leaked like days before.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, it got leaked like days before it aired.
oh, the physical episode, yeah.
Yeah, and like it's unfortunate because it ruins the surprise of like and the emotional feeling because I know every article I see as far as Arrow goes where it's like who's in the grave, I'm like no, not looking at it. I want to be totally just emotionally involved in this so much that like when it actually happens, no matter who it is, I feel some sort of
I have one
of
more
sadness.
clue for that. I do
We can talk about it at the end when we're
Okay.
talking about Arrow. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. But yeah, Star Wars and JJ are doing phenomenal, especially with Luke. Like the fact that nothing about Luke has been
I'm
released
really
yet.
surprised by that.
Oh my god, I probably just jinxed it. But like, oh man,
that means his part is gonna be so pivotal. I think he actually has probably a small part in this one, to then have like a bigger part in 8 and probably even 9. That like he's probably gonna come in at the end and kind of save the day. Maybe like quick.
It might be like a Deus Ex Machina.
do you think he's on the dark side?
No.
No.
I think that he went into hiding to avoid turning to the dark side. Like he didn't trust himself.
I feel like
So
he's
secludes
still
himself.
training.
That's
Almost
fair.
Like he's still training.
That's fair.
And maybe he like might walk the line of it, but I don't think he's ever going to turn to the dark side.
Sorry.
Walk the line. Johnny Cash.
Yeah, that was.
Doing
Haha.
I got it.
Word in front of a line.
No, but Star Wars, it's gonna be great. I'm already excited to see. I'm seeing it the 17th with my family. I already have my tickets ordered, and I think I'm seeing it again on Christmas Day with my cousins when I go visit them in Oregon. So I'm really excited for that.
You can see it in Oregon.
See it in Oregon. I'm taking the Oregon Trail
I
down. Have you seen the game commentary? His username on YouTube is PenguinZ0. And he talks like this all the time, like he's just like, oh god, and it's just comedic. Like he plays the Oregon Trail for one of those, like, my character's names are shit is on the nipple. Yep, shit is on the nipple. One big happy family. Like, and that, like, he's just so funny. I'll have to show you guys after this. But oh man, he's so good. I used to watch this all the time in high school.
That's funny. Mine, I pre-ordered for 10:45 Thursday night, and I was there. I went to the movies 3 times this week in like 4 days. And we'll get to the movies that I saw in a second. But while there, I was kind of scoping out, like, because I was in a different theater each time, so I was kind of scoping out like where the good seats are, because my friend Ryan came up with a good point with probably every theater is going to show Star Wars, and it's going to be even though your ticket says say theater
there's going to be 2 theaters per cinema. I think it's going to be showing Star Wars at a time, not just like 3D and regular, like 2 regulars,
right?
Because it's such in high demand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like even though your ticket might say, theater 6, you might end up just having to go to like 8 or 10 or whatever, like whatever's open kind of a thing.
There might be an entire day where just every single screen is playing Star Wars.
I'm thinking
for some theaters.
I'll be surprised. Yeah.
That Thursday night, it's probably going to be
Thursday and Friday. The entire weekend. Probably the entire weekend.
It's probably going to be majority Star Wars. Yeah. Oh, and also, if not that, you can always go see Alvin and the Chipmunks: The Road Chip.
Hell yeah!
That they're for some reason brave enough to come out the same day as Star Wars.
Wow, that is really brave.
Yeah, especially when it's Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I saw the first one in theaters. I remember.
I think I was in all of them.
I think I was in 7th or 8th grade. I saw the first one in theaters.
They're not very good.
No.
The first one was fine, I thought.
Yeah.
As a 7th grader.
Yeah.
I like Justin Long's the voice of Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse McCartney does like Theodore. Like I love who like they pick for the voices because I think that's really fun. Like of all people, Justin Long. Like I never pictured Justin Long to be like a musical.
But what I was
in the end, it doesn't matter.
How much does it really matter?
True.
Because they're just gonna turn up the hype.
Yeah. But Jesse McCartney has made a career in music. Like
yeah,
and
he does a lot of voice acting now.
Yeah, he was the voice of Robin and Nightwing and Young Justice.
Correct. He's also in the show Young and Hungry, but it's live action, but he's in that as well. So he kind of pops up here and there and stuff. I don't think he does as much music anymore.
Nah, he doesn't. I don't think he's put out anything recently. But I don't know. He was one of those guys that growing up, as like young boys, you didn't like because he was like a teen boy pop star. And you're like, oh, like
it's kind of like One Direction.
Like One Direction, like a Jonas Brothers thing. Like you just didn't like them because of who they were, and like at that age, if you did like them, people tore you up, like they just hated you or like didn't like you, like you're.
It'd be like us liking like Demi Lovato now or something like that. There'd be like where girls would be like, ew, no, she sucks, like blah blah blah, because she's a girl idol. Blah, blah,
but like and like you get older, and like as I got older, like through high school and like now, like you recognize that like for like the Jonas Brothers, like they're actually like talented musicians, but because they went to the Disney track. That they were not really recognized for their talent. But like now,
they kept on doing like trite songs.
Yeah,
like,
and Nick Jonas is making a phenomenal career right now. He's also dating Miss Universe, I think, from Venezuela, who's holy crap. And I think Joe Jonas, Rachel, our friend Rachel was showing us. He's in that band called DNCE, and they have that song called like Cake or something.
Yeah, it wasn't too good.
The music video was really weird because like it was like summer cake, which obviously means like booty, right? And the music video took place on a beach, and it was like a giant like birthday cake in the middle of the beach, and like I don't know, it was weird.
So, I guess we have to get to my what do you call it, concerns with Star Wars or whatever.
Oh yeah, you didn't even talk about it. Shit.
My concerns is too much like homage to the originals, where they're like focusing too much on trying to be the original prequel or the original trilogy and not making it its own. So I'm all for like practical effects, shooting on film, like bringing the old cast back. But if all it's going to be is like referencing it just for the sake of referencing it, like Creed didn't do.
Yeah, Coogler did a really good job making that his own.
And we'll get more into that movie in a second. That I think if they can get that balance that movie had in Star Wars, I think it'll be good. And
I think JJ's going to do that.
And yeah, I mean, I have full faith in JJ.
Yeah, that's what Lucas did in the prequels. Really, he did too many callbacks to the original trilogy, and it just felt forced.
In a digital like movie, where it's just like kind of out of place.
Yeah, like Anakin builds C-3PO, which is still now canon, but like oh, small world.
Right. It makes it very small.
Oh, speaking of C-3PO, there's an app called Waze, which is like a GPS app, and you can get like different every now and then they'll have like different like promotional voices, and the promotional voice right now is C-3PO, R2, and the other guy,
BB-8.
BB-8. Yeah, that's and like whenever there's like a cop in the area, it'll do like the like type thing, and C-3PO's like, please turn left, master, and it's just so funny. Like, oh, thanks, C-3PO, appreciate it.
What's that app called?
Waze, Waze,
Waze, Z's. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This episode is... No, I'm just kidding.
My dad keeps saying to me we should get, like...
Promotions.
I figure eventually we would.
I think we can, but I think we definitely have to build up our...
Well, what he's saying is, like, going to local places and asking them if they want our...
I think if we went to Third Eye, not necessarily for money, just like, hey, like, we do this podcast, here are our business cards, do you mind if we just, like... You just have these on your desk, and you might say one thing every now and then. Mm-hmm. I don't think we should do money.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable asking for money either.
If we were to do ads, yes. Like, if we were to say, like, this episode is brought to you by Terry's Cafe.
That's what he's talking about,
yeah. Like, if we were to do that, then probably, because I think that's the more acceptable thing to do. But
I think just word of mouth, just talking about it.
Right, and then if they had the cards, that would probably be...
We should try to make a Third Eye trip next week. When are you leaving to go home?
I leave next Friday. No, it depends on... it's a good time to talk about this. It depends on if we have our producing exam, like if we have to physically hand it in, or if it's an email. Because if it's an email, then I'm leaving Thursday afternoon.
We should try to go to the Third Eye like Wednesday or something. Because I'm done with exams on Tuesday.
Okay. As long as it's before Arrow.
Yeah, of course. Duh.
Yeah, because it's the mid-season finale next week.
And shit's going to go down. So.
It is going to go down. But we'll get there. This is all a
good time.
All right, cool.
So basically that paying too much homage, and I think making the world too small. So, for example, I keep seeing on Amazon, or like there's this thing for Amazon, like Amazon accidentally spoils Finn's last name or whatever. It's like, look if you want to see, they're related to this original character. So it's like, okay, well, there's only one black character in the original trilogy, so it's like, it's like if he is actually related to this character, I won't say who it is, but you can probably figure out who I'm talking about.
Mace Windu.
Yes, the other black character.
3 black people, guys.
Yeah,
equality.
Really.
We're getting there.
You get one black guy per trilogy. That's like a quota. So yeah, but it just makes the world that much smaller. If we're only focusing on Skywalker's, this mystery character's last name, and Solo's, like it's just very constricted. So hopefully Finn has no connection to anybody except for like now he's part of the new trilogy. And I kind of almost wish Rey isn't a son or a daughter of anybody.
Well, it's funny, like we talk about, like I think she should be a Solo or a Skywalker, but honestly, I'd be perfectly fine if she was just
nobody,
like almost like an adopted.
Like she says
daughter.
in the trailer, she's nobody or something like that.
Right,
I'd be
she really
fine
is
with
just
that.
like a nobody that has Jedi.
She's Force sensitive, yeah.
Force sensitive, but has no connection to Skywalker, no connection to Solo. Mm-hmm. But she could just be like this new chosen one. Mm-hmm. Even though they said we're going to still be focusing on the Skywalker story, so that makes me think that she probably is. Her and Ren might be twins. Because in the canon, they're twin brother and sister and stuff. But Solo,
more twins? Come on.
I know. What are the chances, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a twin has a twin because it's Leia and Han.
Yeah.
Twins.
Well, I think isn't that like a statistic that like twins are more likely to have twins by like this percentage or something like that?
I think so.
I think it's some study.
Right.
But since we mentioned Creed,
yes,
let's get into it. We all saw Creed.
Yes.
This week I saw it Friday.
Mm-hmm. You saw it Wednesday, as soon as it came out.
When'd you see it?
I think it was actually Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday. Awesome.
That was right after Thanksgiving.
That was nice.
Because when I texted you guys, I was like, I saw it. I won't say whether I liked it or not. Mm-hmm. Pat's just like, yeah, I'm going tomorrow. I was like, okay. And then
I was planning on seeing Spectre on Friday, but you're like, no, we got to talk about the podcast. I'm like, all right, it's fine, whatever. Because I wanted to see it anyway. Mm-hmm. But that just means I have to find more time to see Spectre, which if it's not in theaters after finals week, then I guess I'm shit out of luck. So
I'm going to have it on DVD. So
but that's not coming out until February. So
at least, if not longer.
Yeah,
just illegally watch it.
No, you should not illegally watch movies.
On putlocker.com.
Don't go there.
Brought to you by putlocker.com.
Let's get into Creed. Okay. Creed is about the bastard son of...
That's a nice word.
I mean, it's what it is, yeah, of Apollo Creed. His son is Adonis Johnson, because that is the woman that Apollo had the affair with. And it is about him finding his own way. No, I shouldn't say going into the boxing world like his father, and going to Philadelphia, finding Rocky, getting him to train him, and kind of get his foot into professional boxing as a spin-off of Rocky. So not Rocky. It did a very good job of not making it seem like a Rocky film. The only time it did that is pretty much any scene with Rocky, I thought. Mm-hmm. Where he would make like the dumb jokes or whatever that were like still like cutesy funny.
That's how they brought Stallone in. Like that's pretty much all he wrote. Was there would be like, hey, what would Rocky say here?
Yeah,
like, you know. Okay, got it. That was basically Stallone's like.
But other than that, it felt like a Coogler film.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite part of the movie was the modern day references to the culture that is Philadelphia. Like when he's going out with Bianca for the first time, Adonis going out with Bianca. He's like, "What's a John?" It's like, "This is the John." It's like, "Oh, I know John. I know what a John is." Yes.
Yeah. I remember reading that ahead of time that they use like a lot of modern language and they did a really good job of like bringing it to the 21st century.
Yeah, and like they went to Electric Factory. I was like, "Oh, I know where that is. That's so cool."
Yeah. Even just like him calling him Unc.
Yeah,
like for uncle.
Is that what he was saying? I was like,
yeah, he was saying,
like young.
He's like, I'm either gonna call you Unc or old man or something like that. So he's
it's either O or OG, and what's OG? Old ass guy. That's nice.
Yeah.
Just something for that. But yeah, it was good compared to the original Rocky. It was good as a standalone thing, and I'm really looking forward to the franchise that it's going to bring about.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was great, and I want to see it again, but not because it's attached to Rocky. Mm-hmm. It's actually it managed to be its own thing, and it has characters, including Adonis, Bianca, and even Rocky, who is like really developed. I wasn't really to see him develop this much in the movie. Mm-hmm. I want to see him just for the characters, not just for the boxing, which is also great in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Stallone, like, really kind of brought it this one.
He did.
I think it's Oscar worthy.
Especially
I think he should win supporting actor.
When spoilers.
That'd be icing on the cake for me.
When they said that he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and he was talking about Adrian, that got emotional for me. I was like, oh wow.
There's actually a part, I can't remember if they used this whole thing. There's a where he's talking about where he's like, if I break, he's like, I'm not going to fix it. Because he's basically...
Yeah, that was when
he's in the locker room,
Adonis discovers that he has cancer.
And he's talking about it like, oh, I'm in the past.
Oh, that's such a great scene.
That was like hard to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you followed Rocky like through his ups and downs and like all this stuff, and now he's basically just waiting to die.
Yeah.
So like your favorite hero, you're basically just like, he's like, I'm checked out. Like, he's like, I know I have this disease and I could get treatment and it may work, but I'm like, he's like kind of like, nah, that's okay. That's basically literally what he said. He's like, it's okay.
It's almost like, I respect you, but it's also sad at the same time.
And that's why, and again, this piece is what I'm talking about, where they cut it out, I think, is where he's like, I'm here for you every day. He's like, you're saying you're alone, but I'm here for you every day. I'm like a son to you and like all this stuff. And like, what am I, just like shit to you? Like, do I mean nothing to you? And kind of thing. And that's where it kind of like woke Rocky up. And he's like, you know what? I do. Because... Thank God they mentioned his son, because I was going to be
Oh my God, yeah. I saw that, I was like, oh, good. I went to my desk, I'm really glad they mentioned his son.
Yeah, but if you actually noticed, and which is really, like, my dad even noticed it, is there's the picture when he's in Paulie's room, and he's like, oh, nice picture, and it's him and his son.
Yeah.
That's Sage Stallone, who died.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it
he
really?
played him in Rocky V. Sage Stallone played Robert
really?
Rocky V. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And now he passed away, obviously, in like 2012.
No, obviously, I didn't know that.
I knew that.
I didn't. Yeah. So like he passed away. So like
what?
Drug related.
Was it
stuff.
drug overdose or something like that?
Yeah. And so like something with his heart and drugs and stuff. So when he's talking about he's gone and like all this kind of stuff, like moved on, I was just like,
I didn't know that.
Like,
wow.
Oh, geez, yeah.
So he's like, they actually like gave him an actual picture of like them standing. Like for all we know, that might have not even been in them. I don't think it was in Rocky V. That probably was just like a fun picture him and Stallone took as an actual father and son took, and they used that in the film. And so for him to have that like moment, it was kind of like, that's pretty
wow. Cool. Then yeah, holy crap.
So.
I didn't realize there were so many underlying like emotional things.
Mm-hmm. So all that son kind of stuff, like he's gone and like all that kind of, that's like true emotion.
It made me want to see Stallone. I want him to do more dramatic things.
Yeah,
he reminded. I think he's going to remind everyone that he can do dramatic.
He really
stuff.
is a good actor.
He is. He's done so many of those dumb Schwarzenegger action.
Well, yeah, he's been caught in this genre, like Bruce Willis. He's been caught in this genre.
Yeah,
and they actually like can't act. Like when Bruce Willis guest stars on Friends, those couple episodes. Like that's like hilarious.
Right.
When he like breaks down and like cries for like the entire episode, like that's so funny. Like you see that like that cool guy humor, I want to say, like the Die Hard movies, but you really don't see that kind of humor, like the genuine, like, I'm being funny to actually be funny, not to be like witty and charming.
Right.
And I agree, like Stallone, like with the Rambos, like all like the Schwarzenegger stuff, like it's all like the same, like little
Expendables.
The Expendables, which I love, but I almost want him to stop almost in a way wasting his time with that and just do the dramatic stuff that actually matters.
You're big and like, you know, you can keep a physical stature at almost 70 years old and like all this stuff. It's like, but clearly Rocky works for him.
Yeah.
Like, obviously 5 is a little bit of a step backwards, but not a totally horrible film. Just the worst probably in the series. But every one of those movies was a hit for him, right? He comes in, you know, he's having trouble in his real... If you actually... I've talked to you guys, I think about it before. If you actually look at Rocky's life, what's happening in his movies, and you look at Sylvester Stallone's life, they're actually very parallel.
I was going to say, yeah.
He wrote them to be parallel, like to reflect on his life. And so, like, 5 was a low point in his career, like 5 was a low point in Rocky's career. You know, 6 was like a big comeback for him. And if you notice, after 2006, Stallone had a big comeback.
Expendables, that jailbreak movie.
Right, Escape Plan.
Yeah.
He had even another Rambo.
Yep.
You know, like all this kind of stuff. Expendables, like you
Well,
said.
no, the new Rambo's coming out soon, isn't it?
Well, there was a 2008 one.
There was?
Yeah, there was.
It was just called Rambo.
Yeah, I think it's like
And he's in Burma.
And
it's
like,
really graphic.
It's really gory.
It was the first one he directed. He's directing this new one too. But yeah, so like he had his big comeback, and then he kind of has been dying off a little bit in these recent years, and now like Creed is bringing him right back again. Like, but he's starting to take that slower supporting role because he's getting older, and like it really played it. And like the scenes with that montage of him like getting sick and like him having to be carried to the bathroom, he's getting the gray hair and he's losing his hair. I was like, this is like really well done. Like,
my biggest complaint of the movie, it involves that part where he's going through the treatment, is that everything moves too quickly. Scene changes, even in the same scene. Time changes. Besides the moment where he's like, I'm checked out, I'm done, there wasn't enough time. Like when Michael B. Jordan, when Adonis starts freaking out at Electric Factory and punches Bianca's main act and goes to jail overnight, I wasn't emotionally attached enough yet to like be like, holy crap, like what's he doing? Like obviously I'm like, okay, well now he's gonna obviously like mess things up because that's like a normal story arc, but I wasn't emotionally attached enough to that character yet. And that was one of the things that I didn't like, is that even like with the mother, that relationship went by way too quickly.
Yeah, they didn't use her a lot.
They should.
She's Felicia Rashad. You want to use her.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll come back in another one. Or something.
Like that, like the beginning scene where she goes into the juvenile hall. That was really nice. I like that a lot. I was like, oh wow, this is a really good scene. But like after that, when he leaves, the only time you see her again is when she's watching the fight. Other than that, like I wish there was a scene.
And when she tells him not to like do it when he's sitting on the steps or whatever.
Yeah, like that's the very beginning of the movie. That's in the first half hour.
I was gonna say like the first
20
like,
minutes,
15, 20 minutes. That was like my problem. Like God, these are really going really fast. And like when he quits his job.
Yep.
Which I feel like you don't spend too much time, but just I need a little bit more to get a basis.
Like they were obviously just trying to show that all right, he had this career lined up for him. He said they got the promotion, but it was telling,
and
not
it's
showing.
Like,
and
it's kind of like it's a good thing that Coogler was very just direct and just staying on track with the story that matters. But on the other hand, he is kind of like forgetting some of these side plots that kind of need development. Kind of add.
Like I would have really liked to see the mother and Rocky have a conversation.
I was waiting for
have
that.
them come face to face.
I was waiting for at that low point, or at a low point. Like obviously with that one, Rocky was dealing with his own stuff, but there should have been a low point with Adonis that Rocky needed to call the mother.
I was hoping like at least a phone call.
I think I know where it would go. Right after the jail scene, before he comes over to his house and they exchange like the little fist bump, you fight, I fight, whatever. What if she shows up at his house? And they sit down and they have a conversation, and like, then Adonis comes in.
The fights,
and like all three of them are there
because the upcoming fight, like that's all been publicized. So
because I think that would have brought in closure for Rocky IV and Apollo Creed dying, and I think maybe they'll do it in the next one. I don't know,
right?
But I think that needs to be there for Rocky himself.
Right, he needs to make amends.
Make amends. Yeah. Get some emotional closure. Try to get that giant weight off his shoulders.
I did like that they brought back the whole idea of like he could have stopped the fight and like all that kind of stuff, and he almost like he was in the same predicament again where Creed was in his final. Or
Oh my
Adonis
god,
was in his final fight.
Adonis's eye was so ugly.
I know,
That was
so
so cool with the tapping like on his back.
I
And
thought
stuff.
that was really cool.
Where I'm like, how are they doing that? Because I didn't see it for the 4, and then they show you for 2, and he's like 2, and I was like, wow, that's really
His
cool.
eye, like it looked like his eyeball was at his cheek. Like it was so gross. And I was really looking. I was like, oh, they're gonna cut his eye because that's what they did in the first one.
Cut me, Mike.
Yeah, but I guess they don't do that now. They can't do that now.
Yeah, they don't just like start cutting people.
And maybe that
right
made
there.
it like also like kind of forced.
Yeah, because like where the sport is, but at the same time, it reminds me like Rock, like yo, just cut him open, and like for him to do that, I was like, oh, because they did it in the first one, and that's really cool.
Although I did like that they ended it in a draw, or not a draw,
him
he
losing,
but in distance.
Yeah,
kind of like reflects Rocky there.
Yeah, I think if he would have won, it wouldn't be like in the same spirit.
because then he's done it, right? He's nowhere to go.
And that's not the point.
He's beating the champ, and where are you gonna go from there? For him to lose, he has so much ground to gain as a professional fighter.
And I like that they had like the champ, Pretty Ricky was just like, you'll have your chance one day, kind of thing. Like
I thought that scene went by too quickly again for him to be like, oh, that was nice. Like to me, that was like, oh, any champ who's normally like a giant douchebag after a fight is going to be a respectable athlete at the end of a fight if he won, right? If he
like a Mayweather,
if he would have lost, he would have been like pissed off, he would have been sulking, whatever. Like if there was I want to say it was camera work. If there was a better camera angle, and like a little more like emotional backdrop, and be like, hey, like great job, like you're gonna get him one day. Like I would have been like, oh, that was really really nice. But it's like, oh, he's just doing it because he has to. That's the way I felt about that scene.
Yeah. Although I did, speaking of the camera work, I loved in that first fight with Rocky. They did it in one take. So like they actually hit each other.
Right.
It wasn't like they were pulling punches.
Were they really? Like, I was wondering, like, God, how are they doing this makeup with all the scars, like on gouges
you
on
could
his
do
eye?
it quick. I mean, when I saw Rocky the musical, they figured out ways to actually like hide makeup and like quick effects in like stuff to do it quick. So like they would hide it in a towel, so then when they make it look like they're like wiping his face real quick in the corner, they're actually putting on like blood effects or whatever. So they can do it quick if they needed to, and I'm sure they rehearsed it and rehearsed.
Wait, the final fight scene was done in one take?
No, the first one,
that middle,
the lion
middle
against the lion, or the
between Rocky's friends,
son.
Yeah, and once again, like I actually forgot that it was one take. Like I was so into the scene that I'm like, oh shit, we haven't cut yet.
That was so cool. Like coming from the corner and then like starting that fight. That was really a cool sequence of.
I felt like even most of the fights, but especially the last fight. I can't talk. Like pretty like tense. Like they did a good job of like really like. Okay, is he going to win? Is he going to lose? Is he going to knock this guy out? Especially where, like, Rocky was like, all right, go knock him out. Like, if you're going to make me keep you in the fight, knock him out. And he didn't. But he still, like, he came out and whatever. And then the whole movie, I'm thinking, like, oh, they're going to run up the stairs. That'll be like the real classic, like, moment, whatever. And they didn't. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to use, like, the stairs? Like, I thought just seeing the statue in the beginning was going to be it. And then when they have him walk up the stairs and you see like Rocky like struggling to come up the stairs. Now obviously Stallone I'm sure can whip right up the stairs just fine.
Probably better than playing it.
He's just playing it or whatever. But like, and he comes up and he's like the last two, and then he's like, you can really see your future like up here, and like that's how they ended. I was like, that's really pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Like a nice bookend for that movie, but it really leaves the door open for more. So really solid movie.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see myself.
Yeah, I looked for you. I was
really sad. I was looking at a different corner of the ring when they were like having like the wide shots, where I might have been able to see like my like self cheering. But other than that, the part where Michael B. Jordan, Adonis comes. I don't know why I just call him Adonis. When Adonis comes into the ring, and they're like panning around. I'm like, all right, so they're going. Oh, here, nope, there's not panning yet. Here we go. They're panning. Oh, they cut up. What? So I mean, that was kind of sad for me. But
weren't you by where they walked in the first time?
Yeah. So where they walked in, like if this is the entrance and they're walking this way, I'm like back in this corner right here.
I was looking on the other side.
No. I'm on.
You're on their left side.
I'm on their left side, and like the very back corner of them walking in. And
see, I was looking on the right side the whole time. I was like looking this way, and you might have been like over here.
I mean, I'm probably gonna buy the copy and just like freeze frame every single
frame by frame.
and just like go with it and see if I can try to find
It's
myself.
like 12 hours later, like, I'm going to get you to find it.
Yeah, I was telling Dan, I was like, oh, they still want to give me a screen credit. That's why they didn't show me. So.
Yeah, because they knew you had bigger things in the future and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was telling you that you mentioned it, that there was like the Oscar buzz possibly around and stuff. And you asked me what do I think it would be for. I definitely think, I don't know if it's strong enough for Best Picture. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe as like they need a 10th, they'll throw it in there kind of a thing. But I'm thinking for writing, for Coogler and his partner whose name escapes me. I'm thinking for supporting actor. I don't think Michael B. Jordan was strong enough for a lead actor.
There wasn't enough emotional gain for me to get anything.
Right. What else did I think? Oh, sound and design. I thought the sound was really good, like the quick cuts and like all that stuff. Maybe cinematography. Maybe
some of the shots are pretty cool.
I would say probably around 4, and I think the biggest one is going to be supporting actor for Sly Stallone.
But do you think? I want to ask you. I'm going to ask you because you're not biased. Do you think it's because he's Sylvester Stallone that they're going to nominate him, or do you think he actually deserves it?
I think he actually deserves it. Now I hope they won't like. Okay, I feel like if they don't nominate him, I hope it's not because just of his career that a lot of people have made it fun in the past, and that he's unfortunately mostly known, I think, for the action movies that he's done, other than Rocky. And but yeah, I think he deserved it totally.
I think you think he deserved it. At least a nomination.
Yeah, if anything, a nomination. No, I think he's top 3. Probably not. Just because, I don't know, out of the movies I've seen this year, there's been a lot of strong supporting roles. And I really don't know if it's going to carry over.
The one reason, and not because I'm a very big Sly Stallone fan, but the one reason I think he has a good chance of at least getting nominated is because of the board and that picks them. Yeah. They're all old he is, and like he's been around like
that's why I said as far as the nomination goes, because like I think he's gonna get nominated because he's Sylvester Stallone,
right?
Not necessarily because he deserves it. He may deserve it. I think he does deserve it, but for people who don't think he deserves it, they're gonna look at it as, oh, he's up here because he's old and this is like one of his last things as far as like this franchise.
And the fact that I think Rocky is like one of those like pinnacle movies. I think in the
I think it would be really interesting to see him get nominated again for a role he played first won 40 years ago and hasn't been nominated since. And it's like that one. And so for him to get nominated again and possibly win it, I think would really just like tie it all together and like really just end his story. Especially if he somehow didn't come back for a sequel or something like that. That would be really like nice bookend.
For me, I think so Best Supporting Actor, I think Michael B. Jordan should at least be nominated because I loved the character Adonis. I wasn't expecting to. I thought he'd be a little too angsty, which he is in the movie, but he showed enough of a full developed spectrum of emotions, especially with Tessa Thompson, Bianca, who was great. She was fantastic.
Yeah, she was really good.
I thought it was an interesting thing, that whole the deafness and like.
And I love the scene
and they still
when she takes him out.
Yeah, that was. I almost missed it, but yeah, she kind of like does. Yeah, that was nice.
You know, I didn't like that again because of the way the scenes were cut.
You thought it was too quick?
I thought the transitions of like him being out here and then like just the shot of the door, a shot of her, and then him being out here again, and then just the shot of the door without her being there. I felt like.
I thought that was a weird shot, that door.
It was just weird. Like, I got it. I got the effect they were going for, but I didn't like the angle. Like, if they would have showed, like
a wider shot of the door.
Of her, like, maybe, like, just, like, the door closing of her bedroom. I felt like that would have, like, drawn out a little bit more, but I don't know.
Yeah, writing for Coogler, and I won't be surprised for honestly, I won't be surprised for Best Picture and direction if they
director,
do.
Maybe I forgot about director.
If they actually do nominate for that, I won't be surprised. I personally would just do writing, and actually maybe direction, just get how just focused he was on the story that mattered, and also I think also score as well and sound design.
I did say score, didn't I?
Did you say? Because like I swear, like in the first scene with young Adonis and Juvie, and he says like where Felicia Rashad talks about Creed and and Young Adonis is like, oh yeah, what's his name? And then like the whole title goes up. Like, you just feel the music just like swell you up. Like that's when I got pumped.
That really nice blend of like the old Rocky music, like Rocky score, and his new score, which my dad actually didn't like. Just for the sake of like when the final fight and then like the dun 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 dun, he's like, that's Rocky's song, and it's like, yeah, it is, and I could see it not being used in the future Creed movies, but I think it's just like, again, a nice bridge song.
I agree. It's a bridge film, kind of like Force Awakens.
And they say Adonis had his own theme, which I don't know which one it was. I'd have to go back and listen for it, but I think that would be the one that takes over. But like, obviously they saved it to the end for a reason. Like, they normally it would be in the training montage. It's not in the final fight. It's usually in like when he's training, and they didn't use it. They used like hip hop music and like that kind of stuff, which worked perfectly well. And even with the running scene, again, that's where I thought they would run up the steps, but instead he just kind of runs up a hill.
In a new, fresh way.
But he's going to see Rocky, though.
Right.
Like that's what like the main impact.
And
is
then like when he's running, he's like, "Let's go, Rocky!" Like you can kind of read his lips or whatever, and Rocky's just kind of like shaking his head, like looking out the window, kind of like, "All right, this kid's ready."
Kind of those classic kind of Rocky moments that just get you into it.
I loved
that was also
the hat.
That was also still like weird for me, just because like they mentioned once in that neighborhood the kids who ride like dirt bikes and like 4-wheelers, and then all of a sudden it was like this big thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like it would have been interesting if Adonis developed a friendship with one of those guys. You know what I mean? Like some form of relationship other than like I see these guys outside my gym when I go work out.
And speaking of the gym, it was interesting that they didn't stay at the Mickey's gym. I thought they would have stayed there as like a real nice homage to like Mickey.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, and now looking
because
at
it's the same with it's the same idea with the music. You put it in there because it's a nice bridge.
Right.
But again, it's a bridge
now
carrying
it's
it
his own
over
thing, the Front Street Gym, their own thing, and like Rocky.
That's why I like the motorcycle scene where he's running up to see Rocky. Is that like it's a great callback and a great classic trope of the Rocky movies that I think you've got to hit. But they did it. Coogler did it in his own kind of unique way that felt like this is what Creed would do.
One thing,
I wish there was a different place in Philadelphia where you could like
more iconic or something. Like that.
Do the same thing with the library, but have it not be the library. Museum.
Art museum. Yeah.
Whether it doesn't have to be stairs, as long as it's like some location.
Like he finishes at like the Independence Hall or something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe he finishes at Independence Hall and like helps Nicolas Cage find the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
Like,
at the correct time and stuff like that. No, but my one complaint for it was how well Stallone ended Balboa, where he's like waving to Adrian goodbye, like yo Adrian, we did it, and then he's like waving to her, but he's also kind of waving to the audience like goodbye. And then the way they kind of brought him back in this movie, it didn't seem to have like an impact to have him come back. So like Adonis is waiting in the restaurant, and all of a sudden he just kind of trots up the stairs like, "Hey, you wanted to talk to me?"
That was quick. That was really quick.
And I thought it'd be better. The trailer kind of did it better, where he's like, "Yeah, there was a third fight between Apollo and like who won," kind of thing, and he kind of comes out of the shadow. Kind of thing. I was like, how do you know all this? Like that would have been a little more like if they actually made it that's the first time we see.
Of course, Adonis says like he talked to somebody else who knew Rocky that he wanted to meet with him. Like that was, it was like a throwaway line why he was actually there in the first place.
Yeah, how did he? Other than like seeing him in the YouTube clips, how does he know where to find Rocky?
It's like
or even
he said it once again. They
the
didn't
internet,
show it.
The internet, guys. We're in a modern age now.
True.
It was a line that he said he talked to this girl, this worker at Adrian's, which I hope they got his real place, but probably not.
Yeah. Oh, Little Marie. Like they never mentioned Little Marie from Rocky Balboa. Like, and her son. Like, could that have been the girl that he was talking about? I guess. Like, or whatever. That was my one thing. It's like, well, where's her? Like, she was a big like supporter of Rocky, and then for her to just vanish or something.
She should have worked at Adrian's. She should have been like the
even
hostess,
just a subtle
like a manager,
thing, like just to have her there. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe they had a fight or something.
But I think. Go ahead. Continue.
Is there a place?
Adrian's? I doubt it.
No,
God,
it's really called like Vinny's Cafe or something.
Oh man, Philadelphia should totally.
It looks just like that, but like minus like the big Rocky picture in the background.
Stallone, he needs to just create like an Adrian's.
That'd be cool, like awesome. How Forrest Gump has Bubba Gumps,
and like in the country Casablanca, there is a place called Rick's Cafe.
Yeah, so like I think it has enough cultural significance for sure in Philadelphia that if they made a restaurant called Adrian's and made it look like that, people would love it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a chain, but just one restaurant in Philly, that'd be great.
So I'm now realizing that with all like the complaints we have, that all these complaints are kind of related to the fact that like there isn't enough impactful like homage Rocky moments. Like we talked about how it was nice to have him in there, but like the stuff with Little Marie or the stuff with like the mother and talking to Rocky. It's all. I think it's good they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because for the sequel, we were like, oh cool, more Rocky stuff. Let's put more Rocky stuff. No, like they're so pent up. I'm like, this is not
Creed.
Rocky. This is Creed.
Right.
This is a totally different thing.
They could, if they do like Creed 2, they could do a little more.
Yeah,
Rocky
absolutely. But like,
that.
because, if Rocky's still going to be in it, you can't not have references to the prior movies.
There's two things that I want to see that I can think of right now off the top of my head for Creed 2. One of them is I would like it to where Adonis and Rocky go to Paulie and Adrian's grave. They do like a nice little like message or something like that. This is my wife, and blah blah blah. Like the Paulie thing was a little quick too, where he was just like, "Hey, happy birthday, Paulie." It's like, "Here's a grave," and like that's it. And then like he mentioned, "Oh, he passed away," and like, but like they didn't really focus on his grave so much. They kind of just showed him at Adrian's. But
well, I mean, I think I just thought Adrian and Rocky, they just had,
there was their close.
I think it was just a strong.
The second big thing, and I think I want to see this more so than the first one, is I want to see one of Creed's actual kids, like Creed and Phyllis Rashad's Mrs. Creed's kids, come out and be like, who are you to use the name Creed? Like, you're not an actual Creed, blah blah blah, and like that could be like a nice like tension there. So I think in the sequel,
wasn't the guy who was the head of that one gym in California that he went to? Wasn't he Creed's?
He was Duke's son, I think. Duke, who was Creed's trainer and then became Rocky's trainer. He's the one. He's in Balboa. He's like, you have arthritis in your knee, so it's like we're gonna just be making some heart and bombs.
I was confused like who he was. I had thought they implied that he was Creed's legitimate son.
No, I think it was Duke's son.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. And because Duke wasn't in this one either.
No.
But it makes sense to not have referenced him. Just because
they could go.
He passed away.
They could have gone crazier with the references,
right? Like, oh, he passed away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think Coogler, he did a great job, just still keeping it focused on Creed and making it Adonis' story.
I didn't think like the part where what to do with like Robert. I didn't think was very much like I didn't think it was a throwaway. I thought like, oh, he took his girlfriend to Vancouver and like all this kind of stuff. They wanted to do some different thing. Like I thought that was a nice like
seemed in character, yeah.
Yeah, a good enough excuse for where he is. Mm-hmm. The only thing was, it kind of diminishes the bond they reformed in Balboa a little bit, just because now like a few years, it's only like a few years later that he just moves away again. You know what I mean? So like,
I think his whole problem in that movie was that he still wanted to make a name for himself that wasn't Balboa. So I guess it does seem kind of cool that he would go all the way to Canada to do that.
Yeah, it just seems like I'm not gonna watch Balboa the same now with the same as like heart, I guess, as I will like now.
Well, I mean,
as I did before.
What did you want him to say?
No, like, I mean, that was a good way of saying it other than, like, him being like, oh, he died too. Like, that would have been like, okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you can't bring him back, right? You can't have the same character
but
back.
You could have him come back.
But it's just after that big speech he gives in Rocky Balboa to his son, it's kind of like diminished that he still separated himself from his father.
Although, I mean...
If anything, they could do, like, a fake phone call to like show that the relationship's stronger. Like you don't hear his son's voice
because they say that he calls from time to time or something.
Yeah, like if anything, they could do that and like the
like yo Robert, well, good to see good to hear from you. Blah blah. Okay, bye.
Or like Adonis like walks into the house and Rocky's like towards the end of the like yeah, love you too. All right, but like he's like that's my son, I miss him, and like something like along those lines.
Yeah, just to acknowledge.
That's really bad, Stallone. I apologize.
It's okay. Just as long as they don't completely forget about him, because he does have a son. Like,
right.
Yeah, he likes Adonis as a son or loves him as a son, blah blah blah. But he does have a real son. Like, so hopefully they won't forget that. That's probably my biggest thing.
How long are we talking? What time are we at?
58 minutes.
Shit. Wow.
Oh, God.
Creed was
really good
enough.
It was necessary. I think it was absolutely necessary to talk about it.
There's a lot.
And since there wasn't an Arrow, Flash, or even Gotham.
No, but
there was a Gotham.
There was a Gotham.
There was a Gotham. Gotham involved more Victor Gallivan.
The Knife. Tommy the Knife,
which is pretty cool. Bruce Wayne does some Bruce Wayne shit, which is pretty sweet.
Early Batman stuff.
Other than that,
he basically, we'll just say, so he basically tricks his kind of girlfriend, Silver St. Cloud, into like it looks like they both get kidnapped by this killer, Tommy the Knife, who's from Sons of Anarchy, the actor. And like for information, basically like tell me who killed Bruce's parents, or like I'm gonna like start cutting thumbs off or whatever, cut fingers off. So he drags Bruce into the back, and then it kind of cuts away. When it cuts back, he comes out and he's like wiping blood off his knife, you know, and he talks to Silver and he's like, okay, you're next, and kind of like, it's like, who is it? And she's like, Malone, you know, whatever. And then you find out that Bruce was in on it all along. It was just him and Selena paid this guy, Tommy the Knife, to appear bad and blah, 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 and to get information out of Silver.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's pretty cool. And then the other thing was more relationship bonding with Penguin and Nigma.
Oh, I was going to say Selena and Bruce, too. Where she because you see him, he whispers something in Silver's ear, kind of like, you don't really see what it is, but you know it's kind of like a relationship-y kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, Selena being nosy at the end of the episode, it's like, so what did you say? And he's basically like, oh, you're the best person I ever met, and blah, 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 like, I couldn't do anything without you, and all this kind of stuff. She's like, was it true? He goes, no, because it wasn't about her. And it's like implied that like it's about Selena,
and then they have sex. Then so it's really,
and nice. Then it's really inappropriate because they're underage and stuff like that. But
can avoid that question.
Yeah, we'll just kind of sidestep that a little bit. No, she just leaves, kind of like, I don't know how to process this. Yeah, so she's out. Oh, Alfred.
Oh yeah.
So he's like goes to Theo.
The initial thing is that he's waiting for Bruce from school, and this is when Bruce gets kidnapped by Tommy the Knife, and this whole spiel happens, and Alfred has no idea where Bruce is. So the first place he checks is Gallivan's apartment, and Gallivan's sister's there, and they go off, and Alfred is like
hit each other, or just
hitting each other, like fighting, like combating, like trying to kill each other. And
like she goes, like his back is to her, and she like whips at him, and he like grabs it in his hand and like pulls her down to the ground and stuff.
It was so badass. Cool. But then we don't know what happens.
He's like running away or whatever.
Oh, he
takes like a knife to the back.
He got shot. I think he got shot. No, it wasn't a knife.
He was a knife. He kind of like got sideswiped by a knife.
No, she like threw a knife at him, I think, and like I think it just grazed him.
Oh, grazed him, yeah.
And then he's like in the elevator, like bleeding, and like needs to get down the elevator. And then she comes back on top of the elevator, and you're like, oh shit, here it goes again. But then they cut away, and they don't mention it at all the rest of the episode.
No, remember he's running in the street, and then he like, it's like behind a garbage truck. And she like throws like a ninja star or something at him. And hits him in the back,
he falls in the garbage truck. That's right.
And so like that's the last we know of him. And then at the end of the episode, Bruce is like, "Where's Alfred? Like Alfred, you here?" She's like, "Oh, he must be looking for me." And that's when him and Selena have that little moment and stuff. So we don't know where it happened to Alfred. We'll probably find out tomorrow this episode. But obviously he doesn't die. Unfortunately, it's like one of those kind of shows that it's like, well, he doesn't die. Yeah, he doesn't die.
The downside of prequels is that, okay, well, no, this is not going to die.
Yeah.
Make him
so we'll know that he'll get out somehow.
But I'm sure the way that happens is going to be really cool.
Oh, yeah. And then Gallivan is let go because the mayor or former mayor was like, yeah, Penguin kidnapped me, not Gallivan. So Gallivan gets let go and then captures Bruce Gordon and like beats the shit out of him.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
First of all, when Gallivan first gets released in Corey, I think you see in the trailer for the episode, but Gordon just like punches in the face, like, I'm gonna get you, you son of a bitch. And then cops like taking Gordon out, and they're like, you guys can let me go. It's like, we're not here to arrest you. And they tase him and take him to this like random warehouse, and this is where Gallivan like has him tied. I was like, you know what? Let him go. I got some time. It's like, go ahead, Gordon, take your best shot. And Gallivan's just like, and just like kicks the shit out of him.
He like unloads on him and just like spin kicks him, like knocks him out and stuff. But then Penguin rolls up.
Well, no, first of all, Gallivan leaves, and the guy's like, kill him slowly, is like what he says. And then Penguin rolls up. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, and he kills like all the the henchmen or whatever, and like he's like, "Where's Gallivan, Gordon? Where's it?" Like he's kind of like holding.
He's like smacking him across the face
as he's like knocked out. He's just like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And like that's kind of how the episode ends. So I guess they'll have to like work together and stuff to take him down.
It's a good season. Gotham is doing a really, really good job.
So Arrow and Flash, though there wasn't episodes this week, we can talk about what we think for the
crossover. It is crossover week. It is now episode 8.
It'll be episode 8 this week. Yeah.
Episode 8, and so it's crossover time, and it's playing as one giant 2-hour long event.
Correct.
So the time they have for Flash there's probably going to be a cliffhanger at the end of that episode.
And that's called Heroes of Today,
Uh-huh.
and Arrow's going to be Heroes of Yesterday. I think that's...
Something like that, yeah.
So there's probably going to be a huge cliffhanger at the end of Tuesday night. That's going to pick up on Wednesday. So and then it's going to continue the episode. But I don't know. I don't know what I have no thought process of what I think is going to happen.
I think it's going to be...
Let me clear my throat and take you to school.
Yeah, let's fix my tie. I think it's going to focus a lot on the Hawk people.
I think so too, yeah.
And what their deal is. Like, Hawkman's going to roll up and stuff, and then Vandal Savage. Like, they all have a connection, those three. And then they're kind of... I think the storyline is basically... Since
it's setting up Legends of Tomorrow.
Right.
Is the main objective of this crossover.
Kendra Saunders is in Star City, or is in Central City, but is taken to Star City for like protection and stuff, but of course that doesn't work. Vandal Savage still finds her and blah, blah, blah. They were saying like Flash mostly takes place in Star City, and
which is how it normally works. Or how it has normally worked.
Yeah, and then Arrow takes place mostly in Central, like they kind of flip-flopped. And stuff.
They've done that in the past 2 crossovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then speaking of for Legends of Tomorrow, they were saying the rumor for like season 2, because they're going to do like a different team with each season, which is pretty cool. Like instead of doing like Adam, Black Canary, like all those kind of stuff again, they'll do a new team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
New storyline. It'll be like anthology, and that's how they'll bring Constantine back. They'll bring like all these things.
And the main
is that confirmed that he's?
It's a rumor.
Oh, it's a rumor.
And the reason for that is because this season is so expensive for Legends of Tomorrow.
I was gonna say
they can't afford anything else. It's understandable because it's. I mean, you have to account for the special effects of the Hawk people and time traveling
and Firestorm
like
and Flash. When
so
he's
I
on
think
it.
season 2 heroes might a little be downgraded, perhaps more practical, like Arrow.
That's
maybe.
what I'm saying. Like Constantine, you could probably do pretty simply.
Yeah.
Unless Justice League Dark moves forward in the movie universe, then we'll probably still we could get Constantine again on the television show. You could do who else could you do? Like a Nightwing, because I don't think that Teen Titans show is happening, because there's a new rumor
it's gonna be a
that
movie.
Cyborg movie might become a Teen Titans movie,
which could be super cool. Which I'm so.
But then there's like some guy from like the Vampire Diaries that's been campaigning to be Nightwing for like the longest time. Something McQueen. Anyway, they might use him, and like they can have Constantine, they can have Nightwing, whatever.
I'd rather have a Teen Titans movie, live action,
than a Legends of Tomorrow season 2.
Yeah,
just make Legends of Tomorrow like a miniseries.
100%. Like, I am such a huge Teen Titans fan that I would much rather see that in the cinematic universe, live action.
Well, they probably both could still happen. They just couldn't both use Nightwing. That's all.
In that case, I'd rather have Nightwing in the movies.
Probably, yeah.
And then have Robin.
Well, if that theory comes out to be true that Scott Eastwood is Nightwing and stuff, then he's already in.
It's probably not. The rumor's so far-fetched.
Nah, not really.
I don't know.
I think it could work. I would believe it.
I wouldn't
want
it.
Nice, like, what the fuck?
I don't want it.
Yeah, it'd be a nice WTF moment.
Yeah.
I don't want
Suicide Squad.
I don't want it.
I know you said that.
He doesn't look... he doesn't portray the qualities of Dick Grayson or Jason Todd.
How do you know, though?
How do I know?
Yeah, how do you know? You haven't seen Suicide Squad. You've seen him in like a trailer.
I understand that. I've seen him in movies. I just see the way he acts.
Yeah, but it's called acting. You can play different things.
Do you think he's capable of that range? Or if there's
if he's anything like his father, no. What is Clint Eastwood's range of acting?
Tough. Super tough. Kinda tough.
Supreme tough.
Don't you hate on Clint Eastwood?
I'm not hating on
Fuck you.
I'm not hating on Clint
Yes,
Eastwood.
you are. You're saying his acting is not good.
No,
well,
I'm saying he has no...
he's a better director than actor.
I agree.
So do I.
I'm saying he has no range of acting. Like how you were saying, Joel and Bruce Willis. These guys have different roles they can play. They can easily play.
They just
Sylvester Stallone can do the dramatic stuff. Clint Eastwood can only do the badass
he did
guy.
Comedy. Every Which Way But Loose, he had an orangutan for a pet and he fist fought.
That's
two of them.
That's still kind of like a Clint Eastwood movie, just with a slight put into it.
Motherfucker.
It's like
it's kind of like
I mean, I'm not
John Wayne.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
not mad. I'm not
Damn
mad
right.
that he plays the same role because all the movies are great.
Well, he doesn't
They're
play
action-y.
anything now. He's old.
Whatever. Gran Torino was like what one of the last movies he did.
The last movie he did
That baseball
was
movie, wasn't
Trouble with the Curve.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, with Amy Adams. That was really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Before that was, I think, Gran Torino.
That was really good. But, like, other than that, he plays the same to himself old guy or just guy in general who's, like...
The mystery guy.
Who's kind of like a hard ass or a badass if it's an action movie, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the same role. I'm not hating on it. I'm acknowledging what he does.
Better not be.
I'm not. Of course I'm not.
Yeah, he realized
once...
He realized
I was like,
that shtick
do you
works.
see who I have across in my bed on my wall?
Yeah, I have the Good, Bad, and Ugly poster in my basement.
Hello, Josie Wales.
Yeah. All right, then. But, like, no, I'm not hating. I'm just saying he has no range. Scott may have a range. I don't know. He might be looking at his father like, I don't want to be that because then I'm only tied down to certain types of roles.
I think the only similarity right now between them is the fact that they look alike and they share the same last name.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like, he has a much higher voice than Eastwood does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Eastwood is very, like, even when he's not doing his, like, tough guy persona, it's very, like, kind of softer. Like, not softer, but, like,
it sounds
lower
the same.
register. And, like,
the way he talks sounds anything like his tough guy
like
stuff.
raspy kind of.
Like when he spoke at like the GOP convention in like 2012 or whatever.
Yeah.
When he
like,
spoke to that chair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, like he sounded the he sounded the exact same.
Obama. Yeah.
He sounded the exact same.
Right. But Scott Eastwood has like a higher register voice.
Yeah, just like Creed, this is his moment to prove himself, man.
Yeah. He's got to prove himself as an Eastwood.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's your name. You got to use it.
It's so organic.
Well, that's kind of what
I'm not saying he's not
happens.
going to be. I'm just saying if it's anything like his father, he has no range. But that being said, again, I just don't see him as a dick.
He might be a dick.
We've had this conversation on this podcast before that I don't find him very dickish.
He could very
He
well
might
be
be the
a
biggest
dick.
dick you've ever seen.
I hope he's a good dick.
That scene in the night before.
Oh, we didn't talk about the night
We
before.
didn't talk about that before. We talked about.
That's okay.
Did you see it?
I did
We're
not
not
see
missing
it.
anything.
So in the one scene, night before, it's relatively funny. It's not laugh out loud hilarious.
As I said to Greg, Seth Rogen carries the movie.
He definitely does carry the movie, but it's not like a breaking comedy. You know, it's good, it's funny, but it's not necessary to see. But there's one scene where Seth Rogen and Mindy Kaling's character switch their phones, and Seth Rogen's receiving dick pics while he's on ecstasy, and he's like, "Oh, this is a big
And
dick."
he thinks it's his phone.
He thinks is it James from work? Who is this James guy? He's like, "You ever sucked? Look, no one's ever sucked a dick before." He's like, "Oh, well, you will tonight." He's like, "This is a really good dick. Like, I don't understand it." And then you find out later it's James Franco's dick, which is before the movie. My friend asked, "Is James Franco in this movie?" I was like, "Oh, I have no idea." And then he comes up like, "Oh yeah, James Franco's in this movie." But it was just really funny like sequence of events to be like, oh, you know, there was one point where I didn't think I could handle it. It was like, you know what, you just gotta suck it up, you just gotta take it, you know. And I think I can handle the dick.
Yeah, he's like typing back and forth, and we're also like hearing him, you know, and typing. It's actually a pretty funny scene because like they're at like
Anthony
Mackie's
Mackie's
mom's house, like in the middle of the night, and like they're eating or whatever. So they're small talking, and you just like it's more focused on Seth Rogen, and he's like, "Whoa, this is a crazy dick." He's like, "That's a nice dick." And he's like, "You ever sucked a dick?" He's like, "No, I've never sucked a dick before." And like all this good stuff. It's really funny. That's probably my favorite scene. That little piece right there.
Yeah, it was relatively funny. If you want to see it, you can go ahead and see it. I wouldn't hold it against you if you wait until like
I might wait.
Redbox or like
yeah.
if it's on Netflix or Amazon Video or something like that. Wait till then. But it was good. For those of you who are interested in seeing it, I'd see it.
If you're a Seth Rogen fan, I would check it out.
Yeah.
What was the third? You said you saw 3 movies?
Oh, the third one was Mockingjay Part 2.
Part 2.
Which I was... well, let me start by saying this. I didn't read the books. I don't read. But I had seen all of the other movies, so I was relatively interested enough to see the movies, and more so because it's Jennifer Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Although...
Did you see that cover of Anne Wigley? She like...
Yeah, I'm way more a Jennifer Lawrence blonde fan than a Jennifer Lawrence brunette, but to each his own. Anyway, and you could tell it's a wig. Like, after the first movie, it's definitely a wig because she's got so many different hairstyles in real life and stuff. But the first one, because she had it in Silver Linings Playbook, it was dark and stuff like that. But anyway, this movie, obviously it's the last one, so it
I heard it was
concludes
good.
stuff.
I heard
it like it was slow, but in the first half or
it was
something.
way slow. The best parts were the action scenes were really pretty good. The conclusion was predictable in a way. And it wasn't very satisfying.
So
It
it wasn't coming, but it wasn't satisfying either.
It wasn't very satisfying, and they kind of ended it the same way they did with Harry Potter. In like they kind of do a little bit of a time jump, and you see her as like with a family, and I won't say who she ends up with unless you want me to tell you. But
I kind of want to know. Spoiler alert! I kind of want to know.
Spoiler alert! Unfortunately, it's not Gale. She ends up with fucking PETA.
Yes!
No, I hate
Yes!
PETA. I hate PETA. He's
Josh
a bitch.
Hutcherson for the win.
He is a bitch, and I'm Team Hemsworth.
No, dude.
Gale. But
I never got attached to either, so like, oh yeah, okay. Sure.
I
Dude,
feel like
PETA knows where the bridge to Terabithia is. How can you not? How can you not handle that?
yeah, but Liam Hemsworth's brother is Thor. Like that's pretty sweet.
So yeah,
Okay.
and he was in Expendables. So.
And he was in Expendables. He was a sniper in Expendables. He was Billy the Kid.
Yeah, but
That was a really weak, quick Stallone.
they played. He played the board game of Zenith.
It's right.
Zatara. I actually had that board game.
The
Did you go into
Jumanji.
No, I was disappointed.
Yeah, we.
Like,
No, Jumanji
It's
is
just not like the
separate.
game. I'm not like
Jumanji-
space. There's no
Jumanji is its
aliens.
own thing.
Yeah, no, but it's pretty much the same thing as Jumanji, just in
I think it's
space.
actually from like almost like the same studio that produced. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never
Jumanji.
seen. I've only seen the Jumanji one.
It's pretty much the exact same thing, just in
speaking
space.
of Jumanji, this made me think of Robin Williams. This weekend, I broke out the VHS player and I fucking watched Aladdin on
dude.
VHS,
Oh.
full frame, like the full screen, so like with the black bars
Was
on
it
the
4x8?
side,
Yeah.
like the 4x3, yeah,
4 to
like
3.
How's
yeah.
that?
yeah. It was cool. It was cool watching
cool.
it.
I want to do that. I want to like go over just my VHS tapes and just like look at them. Oh shit!
Because now I wish
I
I
got rid of mine.
I kind of wish
you got rid of yours.
a couple of
Yeah.
months ago I got
But your
rid of
player or your movies?
Both.
Oh,
I got rid of a
dude.
bunch of them, thinking like I'm never gonna watch these again. I'll keep like Aladdin, like those were cool. And I had like Aladdin, Batman Forever, maybe Pinocchio, and like my mom's wedding video, and like mom's dad's wedding video, which we watched first because it was recently in their anniversary and stuff like that. So we're like, all right, we'll watch it. We put it in the one VHS player, and it gets stuck. The wedding tape. So I'm like hitting eject. I'm like. Like, so my mom and I ended up having to take that shit apart and like bend this thing out of the way and blah blah blah. We got the
thank
tape
God it
out.
didn't get destroyed though, did it?
No, it was
thank-
fine.
just
Tape
catch
was
fire.
fine.
Thank.
Yeah.
You should probably start making copies of that if you.
That's
want.
why I don't
She
have
wants to
them
make it as a
anymore.
DVD copy, but she wanted to watch it first and then
Right.
eventually she'll get it as tape. But she found it. She didn't know where it was until like 2 days ago. So for the other, we had to happen to have two VHS players, one from my grandparents' house, like one that was ours. So we were trying theirs. And I was like, I hit eject to make sure like there was nothing in it, and like out pops a tape, and I was like, okay, so like I put it back in, and like hit eject, put it back in, hit eject, a couple of times, tried a different tape, hit it out, because my mom didn't want to like take that chance again. So it ended up working out fine. We watched their wedding video, and then I was like, I'm watching Aladdin, like that was like the game plan all along. I'm watching Aladdin, like it's one of my favorites, and so I'm like, this doesn't, like, it seems kind of stretched and weird, you know? So I changed it from 16:9 to, like, set as program or whatever, and I ended up putting it to 4:3, and I was like, this is weird. And then it's like, coming summer of 1994, and it's just like, The Lion King, and it was like showing this thing out.
Seriously?
I was like, wow. I was like, I can't wait for summer of 1994 for when Lion King comes out. I bet. And I said to my mom, I was like, this looks like a pretty cool movie. She's like, yeah, it really does look pretty cool. I have that on DVD. I never upgraded Aladdin for whatever reason, but for Christmas, in case you forgot, Ma, I asked for Aladdin, the Blu-ray, like Diamond, whatever.
I'm asking for the 1950s Christopher Reeve Superman.
It's 1970s.
70s?
George Reeves is 50s television.
Then I want George Reeve. George
Yeah,
Reeve.
it's very confusing, I know.
It's George Reeves and Christopher Reeve.
I always
Right.
thought they were
No
brothers.
S
I
on
always
them.
thought
Yeah.
father and son. Like,
I did
really?
too, but it's Reeve and Reeves. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
really clever.
Oh, that's
That's a weird like coincidence how that happened. And I also want the 1970s Linda Carter Wonder Woman series.
I have season 1.
And why
I want
are
the- I
you?
want the series.
And Greg, why would you want that?
I'm not allowed
you-
to talk about it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Secrets. We're gonna have to J.J. Abrams that one, and
Oh, man.
more to come.
It's
He can talk about it off air.
Okay,
He just can't
good.
talk about it on.
well,
air.
no. What I can't talk about is there's a guy that Dan
Oh, yeah.
that Dan and I met at Baltimore Comic Con called
Right.
Russell. Oh no, I guess I can't talk about it at all.
No,
I'm just
don't
not
say
gonna talk
anything.
about it. I'm not gonna talk
We'll-
about it.
We don't want to get into some sticky situations.
Yeah.
Have to send out an apology letter and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
One shout out I will give, brief plug, is to my cousin, Jen Lewis, who works for BuzzFeed. She recently designed adult coloring books are like a new thing, and she
These are good for your mind.
recently was the designer of this Breaking Bad coloring book. She did all the stuff here.
Was it Cook Up Some Color Yo? Or
Coloring, there's like connect the dots, there's like word searches and like mazes and stuff.
I had no idea this was a thing.
But and it's like
Very
based,
recently.
and it's like based on seasons too, is how it's done, which is really cool. So I'm going to give a shout out to Jen, who I'm sure doesn't listen to this, but Jen, love you. I'll see you at Christmas. So there's that shout out. We can also plug Lethal Llama, our friend Ryan Scher, who does a game commentary YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check out that. He does some really good stuff. Any other plugs?
No.
No? We're good?
You sure?
There's one thing I want to plug. Our friend Seth.
Oh, wait.
Our friend Seth is playing a show. I don't know if you got that Facebook invite to that event.
No.
I did. So I guess you guys aren't cool. It's called the Punk Rock Christmas and Canned Food Drive. It is on Wednesday. It's on Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday at 6 p.m. And it's at it's by Blue Heron Events. It is at 407 South Washington Street, Greencastle, Pennsylvania. And we have celebrate the holiday season with some sweet pop punk and punk rock jams and help those in need. The doors open at 6 p.m. and music starts at 6:30. It is $3 at the door with 2 canned goods, and it's $5 if you don't bring any canned goods. And playing is Samuel Powers, May Weather, a Mark Trainhome, Swole Dog, and our friends, The Young Poet. So if you're in the area and you have some time, 6 p.m. on Wednesday, go check them out.
And this episode is brought to you by Putt Locker. Putt Locker for all your illegal movie watching needs.
No illegal movie watching.
Back that.
Yeah, do not do that. Oh man. There was last Christmas when I was with my cousins. I was talking.
Gave you my heart.
No. I was talking to my one cousin, my cousin Steven, who's the writer.
Steve.
And I was like, hey, do you have any you have free movie sites I can watch some stuff on? And my cousin Matt, who's more of the production side, who makes. I was like, no, nowhere are there free stuff. Do not go to free websites. It's like, oh, jeez, all right.
Sorry. So I made a killer Family Guy reference at Thanksgiving, and only one person got it, and it was this. So they brought the desserts out, which is naturally pie, right? So naturally I went, it's a wonderful day for pie. You can ask all the birds in the sky. And nobody got it except for my friend Meg, who watches Family Guy. She finished singing it with me, and everyone was just like, what is that? And I was Family Guy.
It's one of the best episodes, actually. Gosh.
Yeah, and I showed my dad the clip, and now he'll sing it all the time. He's like, it's a wonderful day for pie. Just walks around the house.
It's really funny.
I unleashed a monster with that.
Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell the homeless guy that lives outside your building.
And we should be back the 6th, which is next Sunday.
Yeah.
There's a chance. We've also talked about just doing just reviews for Flash and Arrow. We'll let you guys know. It's finals week coming up for us. Right. And I'm not a film major, so I actually have legitimate finals.
Ha.
And this So
you just get it together.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it together. So we'll see. There's a good chance there will be. There's a good chance there not. Regardless,
how could there be a good chance of the yes and a good chance of no? How does that make sense?
It's a fucking paradox.
Yeah, it really is.
But regardless, there is going to be a podcast for when we all see Star Wars.
Yes.
That little independent space movie.
And we are going to try to do a Skype shoot if possible.
Yeah. We apologize ahead of time for the quality.
Yeah, Patrick's Wi-Fi in his house sucks.
Wait.
Shut up.
Though he's going to be in California,
man. Maybe a condo in California.
Oh, yeah.
No big deal.
Okay.
In Palm Springs.
You'll have good Wi-Fi then, I guess.
Hopefully.
I'm going to have to tell my brother to get off the Xbox when we're doing a podcast. Then, so
tell your mom to get off the phone. Or your mom to get off the phone. It's like, I got to use the internet. I got to get off the phone.
But it's just 1989.
It's dial.
I told you, it's summer of 1994 next year. So, it's coming. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's it for Geekcast, the podcast. I'm Dan Whitehead.
Greg St. Clair.
Patrick Howard.
Party on.
Party on.
Party on.